All right, Council Lady Stiles, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I make a motion that this committee meeting agenda constitutes essential business of the Metropolitan Council and that meeting electronically is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak.
Thank you. I will second that motion. And what we're going to do is, if there is anyone who wishes to vote no on this, please raise your hand. Or, Hannah, are you telling me something? Okay. Okay, so we're going to begin. And let me just explain. All of you should have received what I had sent out as the final revised calendar for us. But since then, of course, there have been a few more changes. So on your screen, you should be able to see the agenda that I'll scroll through as we move through it. And so if you would, Hannah, you keep raising your hand. Do you need...
I actually do have something this time. I think that you'll need to call the roll before the meeting can actually start with substantive matters.
Okay, I will go back and do that. I'm sorry. So we will start back. We'll back it up into reverse. So I will count on you, council members, to unmute yourself as I call you. It's alphabetical. You can see your names here, so be prepared for when I call. Council Lady Benedict. Councilman Bradford.
Here.
Councilman Cash.
Here.
Council Lady Evans.
Here.
Council Lady Gamble. I think I heard you, Council Lady Gamble. I see you. Okay, we're good.
Yes, present. Yes.
Councilman Hager. I think he might still be in Parks. Councilman Hall. I'm sorry?
He's still in health.
Okay. Councilman O'Connell. Councilman Parker. Councilman Rutherford.
Here.
We have Vice Lady Stiles. Council Lady Toombs.
Present.
Council Lady Van Reese. Council Lady Welch.
Here.
Councilman Withers.
Present.
All right. The chair does detect a quorum, so we were okay making that motion to meet electronically. So going back over, we're gonna, as you hopefully saw in the agenda that I sent out, that I've broken it down into trying to do some groupings and having I know it's like 4 or 5 agendas, but I thought that would be easier than us flipping around and things like that. So we're going to start with Agenda 1, which is recommended approval legislation, the consent calendar for that. We're going to start with resolution number 1 on that, which is RS 2020-202 by Mendez, Murphy, and others. Approves an intergovernmental agreement between the Tennessee Department of Transportation and the Metro Public Works for assistance for I-440 traffic operational deployment of closed spectrum power over Ethernet PoE data collection devices. I will make a side comment that this has come before us before and we have already approved it. And so that is why it is continuing to be on consent. Moving on our consent agenda. Resolution RS 2020-273, Mendez, Murphy, and others. Declares surplus and approves the disposition of certain parcels of real property in accordance with Section 2.24.050G of the Metro Code. We do have sponsors in the committee, and we have a letter to approve from Councilman Mendez. Item number 3, Resolution RS 2020-280 amends ordinance number BL 2019-1565 to authorize Metro to abandon existing water mains and easements and to accept additional sanitary sewer mains, sewer manholes, and easements for four properties located on Spruce Street and 21st Avenue North. And I see Councilman Taylor is in the room, so we will continue on. Item number 4, BL 2020-229, abandons a portion of Merritt Avenue right-of-way between Hagan Street and the railroad right-of-way. We have a letter to approve. Moving to item number 5 on this agenda. BL 2020-238 approves a lease agreement between the Metro government and Midwest Communications for properties located at 8072 Old Charlotte Pike. Is Councilman Rosenberg in the room? Okay, I'm going to move to approve. I'm going to move to continue that on our consent agenda, and he can change it if he joins us or changes it on the floor. Item number 6, BL 2020-239, Sledge Mendez and others, authorizes the granting of permanent and temporary construction easements to the brand Berry Hill Apartments, LLC, on a parcel of property owned by Metro government. Move a letter to approve. Item number 7, BL 2020-241, Pulley, Murphy, and Henderson, authorizes Metro to accept permanent and temporary easements for the Ackerman Court Stormwater Improvement Project for 37 properties located along Ackerman Court, Dodge Court, Grandview Drive, Granny White Pike, and Gray Bar Lane and Leland Lane. We have a letter to approve, and that will stay on our consent agenda. Item number 8, BL 2020-234, Johnson, Murphy, and Henderson, accepts new sanitary sewer mains and sanitary sewer manholes for properties located at Wallace Lane. And I believe I saw Council Lady Johnson in the room, so we'll keep that on consent. Item number 9, BL 2020-244, O'Connell, Murphy, and Henderson, accepts water main, a fire hydrant assembly, sanitary sewer manhole, and easements for property located at 1501 Herman Street. I have a letter to approve, and I see that the councilman has been able to join us. Item number 10, BL 2020-245, Rutherford, Murphy, and Henderson, accepts new water mains and easements for properties located at 6820 Nolensville Pike and 7115 South Point Parkway. We have the sponsor in the room, and it will stay on consent. Item number 11, BL 2020-246, Lee, Murphy, and Henderson, abandons. Do we have Council Lady Lee in the room? I do not see her. I'm going to roll that to the hill. Item number 12, BL 2020-248, O'Connell, Murphy, and Henderson, abandons existing brick sanitary sewer main and easements and to accept new sanitary sewer mains, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at 1206 and 1212 9th Avenue North. Item number 13, BL 2020-249. This is Council Lady Johnson, who I believe is still in the room with us. So it accepts new sanitary sewer mains, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for 4 properties located on Nolensville Pike. Oh, I'm sorry. I have not been turning the page on the screen. Let me catch all up. Okay, here we are. Item number 14, BL 2020-250, Rutherford, Murphy, Henderson, accepts new water and sanitary sewer mains and a fire hydrant assembly, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for properties located at 6424 and 6434 Pettis Road. Item number 15, BL 2020-251. Has Council Lady Lee been able to join us yet? She has not, and so I will roll that to the heel. Moving on to item number 16, which okay, there we go. You can see it there. BL 2020-252, Sledge, Murphy, and Henderson. Accepts new water and sanitary sewer mains, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for properties located at 522, 524, and 526 Southgate Avenue, also known as Southgate Station Phase 2. Moving next to item number 17, which is the final one on our consent agenda to approve, Resolution RS 2020-285, O'Connell, Murphy, and Henderson. Authorizes Riverbike of Tennessee Incorporated, DBA Honky Tonk Harley Davidson, to construct and install an aerial encroachment at 203 3rd Avenue South. So I'm going to run through these numbers one more time before I ask for a motion on our consent approval agenda. So, Resolution RS 2020-202. Resolution RS 2020-273. Resolution RS 2020-280. Item 4, BL 2020-229. Item number 5, BL 2020-238. Item number 6, BL 2020-239. Item number 7, BL 2020-241. Item number 8, BL 2020-243. Item number 9, BL 2020-244. Item number 10, BL 2020-245. Skipping over item 11 to item 12, BL 2020-248. Item number 13, BL 2020-249. Item number 14, BL 2020-250. Skipping item number 15. Item 16, BL 2020-252. And item number 17, Resolution 2020-285. Are there any items that we have gone through on this consent agenda to approve that anyone would like to bump off of the consent agenda to approve? Seeing no hands raised and hearing no voices, Council Lady Styles, I'm going to make a motion.
I think, sorry, Madam Chair, I didn't get my
Madam
hand.
Chair, I had my hand raised.
Okay, I'm seeing hands. Freddie, go for it.
This is really just a point of information here on our shuffling back and forth between what's on the screen and what I've got. On RS 2020-202, which I know we approved out of committee. Unfortunately, I was actually in Public Works where we were having a discussion about this when that was there. I'm not going to necessarily disrupt this, but I do want to say, had I been, just for the point of the record, had I been in this committee when this was being discussed and voted on, I would not have allowed this to go through planning on consent. I'm not going to pull it now because I know this committee has already reviewed it, and I think we're getting a lot of our questions answered elsewhere. But I just want to note that that my absence from committee was the reason that stayed on consent.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connell. I know that this has been thoroughly discussed in Public Works and in Budget Committee. It is a bill that we have approved on several occasions and keeps being re-referred to us. And so I'm comfortable moving it out and having other committees handle it. But thank you for your comment, and they are noted. Council Lady Benedict.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted you to know I have joined.
Wonderful. I'll recall roll and just to make sure that we've got everybody. So with that, Council Lady Styles, would you like to make a motion on our consent agenda?
Yes, and make a motion to approve our consent agenda.
So that's a proper motion. I will second our agenda 1, which is approval for consent as read into the record. With that, we will move to agenda number 2. Let me catch you up on the screen. So these are items to defer one meeting. BL 2020-247, Murphy Henderson abandons existing public sanitary sewer mains and easements, and to accept new water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrants, assemblies, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for the property located at 4317 Harding Pike. Item number 2, BL 2020-231, Murphy, Henderson, and O'Connell. Abandons a portion of alley number 2005 right away from dead end south of Fern Avenue to dead end north of Fern Avenue. Do I have a motion or any bumps from this agenda? Freddie, do you still have your hand up from before?
No, this is new. So you can see the note there that BL 2020-231 is actually, though I am the listed sponsor, Councilmember Toom is it's actually her district. So I think I was, I guess maybe because it's not coming to our traffic and parking committee, but it did go to traffic and parking commission. I'm not sure why I'm a sponsor and why Councilmember Toom is not. But I was told that just
Councilman O'Connell, I can speak to that. They actually had this listed as my district, and so Councilor Toombs is aware of it now, and so I'm recommending that we just defer at one meeting since she just found out about it being her district today. So I think it probably just had some confusion around it.
I'm okay with that. With the caveat that I would hope that Councilmember Toom is comfortable with the deferral.
And Council Lady Toombs was on here. There she is. Council Lady Toombs, I think you're talking, right? There you go. Go for it.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I actually reached out to the clerk's office to have my name added to the bill. Okay. And I believe that I am, there was some constituents that reached out to me with help with abandoning an alleyway, and I believe this is it. So I am familiar with the, I guess, the facts behind the bill.
Okay, so you feel comfortable moving it today, or would you like to defer at one meeting?
I'm fine with moving it forward.
Okay, it is an ordinance, so you can always amend or do something on third if needed. So with that, okay. We're just going to separate these two because they're the only two on the agenda. So, Council Lady Toombs, will you make a motion on BL 2020-231?
Am I just moving for approval?
Yes, ma'am.
Like already? Okay, move for approval.
Thank you. Council Lady Stiles, would you like to second?
I second the motion.
Great. If there is anyone who wishes to vote against this, please raise your hand or speak now. Seeing none and hearing none, that is approved, and we'll move on to third. Going back to item number 1 on this agenda, BL 2020-247. This is in my district, and I actually, when I did a little more research on it, I have some questions about this project, and so I am making a motion to defer at one meeting. Council Lady Stiles?
I second the motion.
Thank you. Council Lady Toombs, you still have your hand up. Council Lady Benedict, you still have your mic on. Is there anyone that has objections or would like to deferring BL 2020-247 one meeting? Thank you. It is deferred meeting. All right, moving to agenda 3. So this is our consent agenda to defer to the second meeting in May. I'll read through them and then ask if there are any things to bump or questions and concerns. So starting with item number 1, BL 2020-240, O'Connell Murphy Henderson abandons existing easement rights located at 804 4th Avenue South, formerly a portion of alley number 147. Item number 2, Resolution 2020-284, O'Connell, Murphy, and Henderson authorizes 1221 Investment Partners LLC to construct and install an aerial encroachment at 1221 Broadway. Item number 3, BL 2020-228, Murphy, Henderson, and others, abandons a portion of Collins Drive right-of-way. Item number 4, BL 2020-230, Parker, Murphy, and others, abandons a portion of alley number 312 right-of-way from North 9th Street to alley number 278. Item number 5, BL 2020-201, Pulley, Murphy, and others, authorizes Green Hills Mall TRG LLC to install, construct, maintain underground encroachments in the right-of-way located at 2130 Abbott Martin Road. Item number 6, BL 2020-227, Withers, Mendez, and others, authorize granting of permanent and temporary construction easements to Piedmont Natural Gas on certain properties owned by Metro government. So that is our agenda. Raise your hand or turn on your mic if you would like to bump anything or have any concerns on these. Councilman O'Connell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to pull all 3 of my bills and resolutions from this. I would move BL 2020-232 to the first meeting in May. I missed the Traffic and Parking Commission meeting. I was out sick when that was disapproved, and I'm actually trying to get an update from staff on that one. BL 2020-240.
Okay, hold on just a second.
Sorry.
Give me that first number again. What's the item number?
Yep, item 1 from Agenda 3, I'd like to move to the first meeting in May.
So that is BL 2020-240.
Oh, sorry. What happened to BL 2020-232? I guess I'm looking at an old one.
Okay, give me a second. 232. I have that. I received a letter saying that you wish to withdraw that, and that's on our next agenda.
Oh, withdraw?
Yeah, we can come back to that. That's on our next agenda.
All right,
So
okay, sorry.
on agenda 3, what else do you want to do with your items on agenda 3?
Item 2, I would like to go ahead and move, and item 3, I would like to go ahead and move.
Okay, so item number 2, which is RS 284, you would like that approved?
Yes. And then whatever item BL 2020-240 is, I guess I'm looking at a...
That's item 1 now. If you look on the screen, hopefully we'll match up. Again, y'all, what we're trying to do here is when we're getting letters in late and not hearing from council members, or I've gotten conflicting letters, that is what has caused some of the renumbering and confusion. So hopefully we'll be able to work that out for the next one. So as of right now, agenda, is there anybody else who has concerns or wants to bump anything on agenda number 3?
Well, actually, yes. I wanted to move my bill, the 228,
Yes.
to for 1 meeting instead of 2, so that it would be our next committee meeting.
Okay, I will bump that from the agenda. Councilman Pulley.
I'd like to bump 201 as well. I'd like to move that to be approved tonight.
I kept that on this agenda, and maybe legal or Lisa can tell us. It was my understanding that our last committee meeting, we had voted to defer this to the second meeting in May. Can you confirm if that's what we had voted on last time, or what motion was made on this bill?
I believe that's what you're asking me, or you're asking legal?
I'm asking Lisa or legal. Hannah, do you know? I thought
do not have
committee meeting, this was deferred 2 meetings.
I don't have the last P&Z agenda in front of me, but let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
Okay.
I think
Meanwhile,
that's
Freddie,
correct.
you
I
have
was
something
kind of
else?
wondering why it was on this agenda, but it is. So if it's on this agenda and it's a chance to move it, I'm gonna move it tonight on the floor. So
All right, well, we'll come back to you, Councilman O'Connell. Councilman O'Connell, your hand is raised.
Sorry, I think that was for just.
Okay, Hannah?
So this is for BL 2020-201.
Yes.
We do have that deferred to the second meeting in May. So I think it's just be a clerical error that we've got.
Okay, so it should not be on this agenda. Okay. So I'm going to go through agenda 3 of what we are deferring to the second meeting. Items that have been bumped will be discussed after agenda 4. So here we are. Sports fans, stay tuned. We are starting with item number 4, which is BL 2020-230. Item number 6, BL 2020-227. Sorry, you can't see that down there. Those two, Council Lady Stiles, if you'd like to make a motion to defer them to the second meeting in May.
I motion to move these 2 items to the second meeting in May.
Thank you. Okay, so we are now going to go to agenda 4, our regular agenda, and then we'll come back to bills that have been bumped from previous agendas. So starting with BL 2020-223 by myself, amend section 7.16.110 of the Metro Code to provide for retail liquor establishments to obtain an exemption from the minimum distance requirements for obtaining a certificate of compliance upon approval of the Metro Council by resolution. Council Lady Stiles, would you make a motion on my bill, please?
Yes, I move for approval.
Thank you, and I will second that. I would like to move an amendment on this bill now that it's properly before us. So let me give you some background on where this legislation came from. Currently, in the Metro Code, as you know, we have frequent public hearings about beer permits when a company or a store or retail outlet wants to sell beer and they are too close to the distance requirements. And last term, we passed a lot of legislation regarding that and kind of cutting down on some of those things. Evidently, in our code, there is not a similar provision for liquor and retail liquor establishments. So what has happened in the past is that typically there's an SP filed or a rezone filed, also known as a spot zone filed, to be able to have these liquor stores in the locations that they wish to be in that may be too close according to other sections of the code. And so what this resolution does is it simply sets up the same type of public hearing that we have for beer permits. And so this was brought to me for a project in my district. And so the option was, do we spot zone it so they can get around this, or do we set up a similar process to the beer permitting process that we already have in place? So the amendment for this is a little bit more of a housekeeping. As originally drafted, it said that the Department of Law would notify the council member, when really that should be the applicant notifying the council member. So with that, I'm going to make a motion on my amendment. Council Lady Stiles.
So moved.
Thank you. Freddie, do you have a question on my amendment?
No, on the bill as amended.
Okay. Let me make sure. Councilman Pulley, you still have your hand raised. Okay. Okay. Seeing no further questions, what we will do is take a vote on the amendment. So if you would wish to vote no on the amendment, please raise your hand or speak up now. Hearing none and seeing none, the amendment passes. We are on my bill as amended, and I would like to renew the motion. But for discussion, Councilman O'Connell.
I'm just looking forward to hearing the chair's explanation of how this is essential. That's all.
Liquor stores are an essential business that are allowed to remain open. And so this continues that process along with that construction of businesses and buildings are also governed and established as essential business. And so I felt this could move on through since it both in two areas qualifies as essential services. All right. Any other questions or considerations? So we have a motion and a second before us. How we're going to do this again is if anyone wishes to vote no on this, the bill as amended, please raise your hand or speak now. Seeing none and hearing none, BL 2020-223 passes out as amended. So that brings us to item 2 on our regular agenda. BL 2020-232 by O'Connell, Murphy, and Henderson. Abandons a portion. Yes.
Excuse me, Chair. I just noticed that Joy Stiles had her hand up on that last vote. So I just wanted to clarify with that.
I think Council Lady Stiles is.
I apologize.
Yes.
Okay, I figured. I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council Lady Stiles, do you want to just take your hand down and then you could just hit your mic? That might clarify in general. Okay,
I had tapped that and it didn't work. My apologies.
No worries. We're in a new world. So this abandons a portion of alley number 146 right of way from Lafayette Street to Elm Street. Councilman O'Connell, would you like to make a motion on this bill?
I'd like to move for a 1 meeting deferral, please.
Council Lady Stiles.
My apologies.
Would you like to second the motion?
I'll second, yes.
Thank you, Council Lady. So what we are going to do is that is a proper motion before us. If you do not want to defer this one meeting, please raise your hand or speak up now. Hearing none, seeing none, this BL 2020-232 is deferred. All right.
Hey, Slade, this is me. I'm in another meeting at the same time, so I'll be right back.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, point of order. Could we move the rest of mine to the heel so I can quickly run the traffic and parking meeting?
Yes, I'll run all of yours. I'll move all of yours to the heel.
Thank you so much. Be right back.
Item number 3, BL 2020-224, Taylor, Swar, and others amends Chapter 11.22 of the Metro Code to require landlords to provide notice to tenants prior to sale of property. Is Councilman Taylor with us?
Yes, I'm here, Madam Chair.
Okay. Sorry, our list is getting long and I don't see everybody. I had been told that you wish to make a 90-day deferral on this, which would be the July 22nd meeting. Is that the motion you wish to make?
Not understanding how you got that 90-day thing. We're going to go 2 meetings.
Okay. That works. Because I actually counted up what 90 days would be, and I was like, man. Okay, so your motion is for 2 meeting deferral.
That's correct.
Thank you. Council Lady Styles.
So moved.
Thank you. So we are now voting on a 2-meeting deferral. If you would like to vote against the 2-meeting deferral, please raise your hand or speak now. Hearing none, seeing none, BL 2020-224 is deferred 2 meetings. So now we're going to go back to, and I'll move the agenda once I find it. We're going back to Council Lady Lee's bills, and I believe I have a text message from Rosie that says, Council Lady Lee is on the phone. She is trying now. So can anybody confirm that Council Lady Lee, Rosie, can you confirm that?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I just can't see you.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I see you now. Great. Council Lady Lee.
You do?
You're going to take up your bills. BL, let me scoot you up. 1 second.
Thank you, because I was having a
We are
problem
item
finding
number
them.
11 here, BL 2022-46, abandons existing public sanitary sewer force mains. I think that's a new one, sanitary sewer force mains, sanitary sewer manholes and easements, and to accept new water and sanitary sewer mains and force mains, fire hydrant assemblies, sanitary sewer manholes and easements of properties located at 4309 Maxwell Road. Council Lady Lee, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to move approval, please.
Thank you. Council Lady Styles.
Second.
Thank you. If anyone is against moving this forward, speak or hold your hand up, or forever hold your peace. Well, I guess you have a third reading on this one, though. Okay, hearing none, seeing none, BL 2020-246 is approved. Moving to item number 15 on this agenda. Council Lady Lee, stay with us.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
are at BL 2020-251, Lee, Murphy, and Henderson. Accepts new water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assemblies, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for properties located at Hamilton Church Road unnumbered, also known as Timber Trails Phase 2. Council Lady Lee, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to move approval, please.
Thank you. Council Lady Styles?
Second.
Wonderful. With that motion and second properly before us to approve this, if you would like to vote against moving this forward, please raise your hand or speak now. All righty. Thank you. That bill is approved.
Thank you, ma'am.
We voted on that one. Let me just catch us up to we are coming back to Councilman O'Connell's bills in a second, but we are headed down to Council Lady, where'd you go? All right. Item number 3 on your screen, BL 2020-228, Murphy, Henderson, others. Abandons a portion of Collins Park Drive right-of-way. Council Lady Styles, would you like to make a motion?
So moved.
Your motion is to defer this one meeting with properly seconded. And
I do have one question. It looks like I just found out my letter requesting deferral to the other committees did not go out. Looks like it's been approved. So in that case, having not been in this position before, what is the best way to handle this?
You can make a motion to approve it. You had indicated to me you wanted to defer it.
I want to do the simplest thing possible. So let's just move for approval.
Okay. So we will withdraw our previous, set aside our previous motion and previous second, since and your motion is to move this for approval. I will
Correct.
second that.
Thank you.
Anyone wishing to vote against moving this forward, please raise your hand or speak. Seeing none, hearing none, this will be approved. One moment to catch us up.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, so we are at the heel of our calendar with Councilman O'Connell's bills. I'm not sure if he's back, but I will handle them for him since he has indicated what he wishes to do with them. So,
Can you also change the pages, Chair, on the screen? Thank you.
sorry, it's going to take a second to find them. Hopefully next time we'll be able to get y'all a clean agenda in a timely manner so we don't have to, maybe I can color coordinate better. Okay. BL 2020-240 abandons existing easement rights located 804 4th Avenue, formerly a portion of alley number 147. I'd like to make a motion to approve. Council Lady Stiles.
So moved.
Thank you. There is anyone who wishes to vote against moving this forward, please raise your hand or speak at this time. Hearing none, seeing none, the bill is approved. Moving to resolution 2020-284, O'Connell Murphy Henderson authorizes 1221 Investment Properties LLC to construct and install an aerial encroachment at 1221 Broadway. I'd like to make a motion for approval. Council Lady Stiles.
So moved.
Thank you. With that proper motion in front of us, is there anyone who wishes to vote to not move this forward? Please raise your hand or speak now. Hearing none, seeing none, that bill is moved out for approval. And I believe that takes care of everything before us. I will ask, and I'll send a letter out to the council. Please, 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 if you are sending a letter requesting approval or deferral or what have you, please make sure that you're not changing your mind, because once we make these agendas, as you can tell, it gets confusing to have to constantly update them for everyone else to see. So let's really try to get ahead of it so we don't have to struggle back and forth in the meeting. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Hang on, Madam Chair, I'm back. Did I miss my bills?
I took care of you. You're all approved.
All right, thank you so much.
All right. I will entertain a motion, Council Lady Stiles.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And planning is now over, and I will figure out how to take this off the screen.